Okay, we got the live warm up. Okay, you know what? I'm in charge of this. We're going to get started. So, welcome to Probate Weekly. We do this every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern. If you happen to be on the East Coast, as our guest today is, and some of you watching are, I'm Bill Gross at Bill Gross Probate on social media. And we do this call, we live stream this onto YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. And the idea is that we interview experts in the business and professionals and vendors who can help us be better. I'm a real estate broker. I'm a practitioner in this business. And I interview people who help me build my business with the idea they can help you as well. One of the companies I've worked with, had the pleasure of working with, and have a kind of partnership with is Estate Registry. Alyssa Rakovich is one of the key members of their team. Alyssa, thank you for joining us today on our call.
Thanks, Bill. Happy to be here.
So I know we had you in the past, I believe, with the Inherit Now product, which is a probate advance product, a service. But today we want to talk about the Legacy Now product. So you really have three different legs of your business. Let's talk about how all three work together as a way to separate the state registry is. So explain to me the relationship between the Legacy Now, the Notify Now, and the Inherit Now products.
Sure. So think of Legacy Now while you're alive, getting your house in order, creating your legacy plan, putting everything in a place where you have it organized. And then the Notify Now, is the deceased notification. So it provides all the notifications when someone's passed away to get that estate resolution process underway. And then Inherit Now helps the beneficiaries. If you can't wait for probate to close, Inherit Now offers that immediate relief in funding.
Great. So three different services or three different ways that you help us as professionals help our customers. And so today we're going to talk about Legacy Now. Before that, though, how did you get into this end of the business? I'm sure when you were a young girl, you didn't, play with Barbie dolls and say, someday I'm going to run a state registry or I'm going to run Legacy Now. How did you end up in this particular niche?
Sure. Well, my background comes from 25 years in financial services. So I was with Robinson Humphrey, Solomon Smith Barney, a subsidiary of Citi that turned into Morgan Stanley. So I sat in the same chair, and my name tag just switched as the companies evolved and were bought and sold, etc. So my history in this comes deep with wealth management. And one of the things as a financial advisor, because I sat in the seat as a wealth manager, and I also sat in the role as a manager running an office. So I saw the compliance side of things and the client facing side. Really important to deal with families. And when there's been a loss, to be able to continue that relationship. So if you haven't forged a relationship with children or heirs or beneficiaries, it's really difficult to connect in a time of grief and mourning in a meaningful way. And that's what these products do.
Now, one of the things you said, one of the words you used a couple of times was relationships. And one thing consistent in your career has been, you've been in relationship oriented businesses. And I also know you approach this business in a relationship way, and that you work with my team, in particular in Florida. So talk about how you work with real estate agents and or real estate investors to help them service their customers to build their business as a way to build your business.
Absolutely. And Bill, one of the nicest things about working with your agents is they really understand the importance of setting themselves apart in order to foster that relationship, because you have to have a skill set that differentiates you from everyone else. And I think that's one thing that you at EXP do extraordinarily well. You don't just sell real estate or want to get a listing. It's so much deeper, and you offer so much more because you come from a consulting approach. And I've never experienced that before working with other realtors, seeing your agents, they come with that consulting approach to everything. It's what are you looking to do? And then are you aware of your options and
Right.
giving them options? So it's not just you need to sell the house, give me the listing, let's go to work.
Right.
There's so much more. And that's where I think developing a relationship really comes into play because products like a digital vault that we offer, when realtors are doing house closings and they're giving a gift, right? $50 limit to do a closing gift. Sometimes it's a bottle of champagne or wine, but how about something meaningful? How about provide them a digital vault with all of their papers preloaded on it so they can start organizing their life and their legacy for their family?
Right.
So it changes the topic, it changes the discussion, it changes how and who you are in the relationship with the families you service and work with. And that's what we're all about.
So, a little housekeeping, real quick. This is Probate Weekly. We get together every week, as I mentioned before, Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. And if you go to probateweekly.com, you have a chance to sign up, and you'll get reminders and links to the Zoom call. Currently, we do this on YouTube now. So if you're live on YouTube, but you can also jump in and put comments in. We are watching the YouTube live to answer questions. And so I'll either ask them of Alyssa, or I'll answer them myself as appropriate. And then if you scroll down below, you'll see we have podcast versions of this audio, or if you want to see past episodes on the YouTube, you're able to do that. You can continue the conversation on Facebook. We have a Facebook group, probateweekly.com. We have 3,700 members, and people come in and ask questions looking for referrals for agents or attorneys in other areas, as well as post their probate-related content. I'm glad to support. I know that Courtney does a great job posting his YouTubes into our group, and it's a way that we can learn about what he's offering as well as promoting his YouTube channel. So I want you to feel free to do that as well. So if you have probate content, love to continue the conversation there as well. And then separately, I have a real estate business. And one of the keys I find for my business is email marketing. I think it's so important when I deal with real estate agents and when I coach up my team members, I constantly am finding out that they just don't have the database put together they should. If you want to find out more about me, you go to linktr.ee/Bill Gross. And if you scroll down to the email program, you'll have more information about that. But it's really about how to 16 times your marketing clout with your database so you can be more effective in what you're doing. Our guest today is Alyssa Rakovich. She is with the Estate Registry, and they offer a couple products and we've had her on before on the Inherit Now product, which is a probate advance. And this time, though, we're going to talk about specifically Legacy Now. And I do want to give kind of her a thank you in that she's in particular been, I think because they're located in Florida, connected her with my team member, the probate nurse, Melanie Hands in Florida. And they've been doing some marketing together at events and things like that. So she really does take a team approach, a partner approach to her business, and glad to have you take advantage of that as well. So, okay, I don't know if she disappeared or
I'm here. Can you hear me? I don't know
I can.
why I'm not in the picture, but I'm here.
Okay, well, it's kind of, I think the background overtook you, or
Yeah, I was
something.
trying to stay in, and it seems like I got absolved in my AI.
Wow. Okay, there you go. There, that should keep you awake at night. That your computer can just envelope you. Okay. Well, hopefully that'll work itself out over time. So let's talk about the Legacy Now product. It's a digital estate planning tool. So I guess the way I've described it to customers is it's a place to organize your estate assets, documents, paperwork, instructions, so that you can effectively share them, whether it be your attorney or your successor trustee. How do you describe the product?
Yeah, so it's a place where you can easily store and securely store everything that's important to you in life. So, family memories and photos, everything from your passwords, your financial accounts, all aggregated, your liabilities, and prescription drugs, donations, all of your social media. I don't know about you, but for me, I can barely remember what streaming service I've applied to and am paying for. So it can keep all of that current. So, God forbid something happens to you, all of this information and data populates over to our notification resource. So it starts the resolution process for the estate, alleviating 800 hours on average people spend trying to resolve an estate. So we say the greatest gift you can give your family is a legacy plan. And what this also does is when everything is organized in one place, it identifies opportunities that you may have overlooked that could prevent or put you into a probate situation that you may not realize. For
Right.
example, you might have $100,000 in your wife's name in a CD, and you just did that as asset allocation, if you will. But really, what that does is that causes a probate issue. So
Yeah.
those are things that can be identified. And having all of these documents in place and then being able to provide your children access to maybe your living wills and your healthcare directives or powers of attorney, being able to provide your financial advisors access to the financial documents, your CPAs, your attorneys can upload any added or updated documents. And with real estate, you can make sure you're sharing things that you might need to update with your realtor about
Right.
property, etc.
Right. Do me a favor, in the settings down below, look where it says stop cam. Did you by chance hit that by
Yeah,
accident? And
yeah, yeah.
now
Maybe hold on, let's do this.
we're looking at your background. No, there you go.
Yeah,
So your camera's
no,
on. It's the green
the
screen
camera's
is
on. Here we go.
that's off and that's on. Okay. So what's happening, I think, is the green screen is putting you out or
It's
something.
taking me out of it. It doesn't like me for whatever reason. And I even have a special camera too, and it's plugged in. Let me
Technology,
unplug
man,
it.
it's always something. It's always something.
I know. I
And so
know.
this is
I
the way that you
dressed
would
up
organize.
for you, did my makeup and everything.
You look great. I just feel like for those on the call, they're stuck looking at me in your background. They don't get a chance to see you. So sorry for the disappointment, guys, but that's how it goes. Okay, so we'll carry on here, and if you have a chance to come play with it, maybe it's if you eliminate the virtual background, is that maybe? Of course, maybe it's a privacy issue where you're at. So I'm lucky. I don't use a virtual background. I just use my actual office, and so I am fortunate. My wife let me take over one of our bedrooms and made it in my full-time office, and it kind of makes it easier for me. So this is a product that somebody would use on their own, not necessarily with an attorney, but imagine this is something you could give to attorneys as a way to help them earn, to give to their customers or share customers. How do you see that happening, or how has it been happening for you? I think we lost you. Okay, I think we lost Alyssa entirely now. We lost the video and we lost the audio. Okay, so Alyssa, if you have a chance, why don't you maybe cancel out and try to come back in again? And in the meantime, I'm going to just do a little overview of your company. We'll carry this on a bit. So again, the company we're dealing with, Alyssa represents a state registry. And really, they have three key services, as we mentioned at the beginning. They do Legacy Now, which is pre-estate planning. And this is the product you might give to customers as a way to organize their estate or encourage customers to sign up on their own to organize their estate before pre-planning, or if they don't need estate planning, but just to organize everything. Notify Now is a product a service they have as well that notifies creditors automatically. And so you can use that to help speed up the process when the time comes that you need to manage an estate. It will notify credit companies and streaming services and such. And then Inherit Now is a probate advance product that I've used and we've interviewed here before. And I talk about it in my probate.cash, getprobate.cash program as well. The Legacy Now is something that's used to organize your estate and or as a premium gift to give to a customer who can organize their estate, and or you can give to attorneys who are offering you business as a way to give to their customers. And I think sometimes a product like this, in my experience, having done it, is not even that the customer uses it. It's that of all things you give them, as she mentioned, rather than champagne or flowers or food, a lot of things you can do. This thing that will help the customer if they do use it. And if they don't, I think it will help them understand that they need to get some help. And sometimes them making an appointment with the estate planning attorney is just what people need to push them to organize their paperwork one time, get it together. And so if you can do it on your own, Legacy Now is a great product, and you can do your own estate plan online, probably pretty cheaply. You're organized, and you're not going to get necessarily the best plan, but at least things are organized. But if you can organize your material and then work with an attorney, you're going to save them time or money, probably get a discount of some sort, and or give the attorney to pre-give to the customer to help them get that done. So I know Alyssa dropped off. I think we had an internet connection. How's it different from a estate exec? So Peter, I think it's a very similar product. I found the estate exec product to be very detailed, very technical. I actually got it with the idea of doing it myself for my estate plan, and kind of gave up about halfway through. And I'm pretty organized. I'm pretty, technical, being a real estate agent and working, running podcasts and such. So I don't know, Peter, do you use Estate Exec? I know it's a product that we've been promoted onto the Probate Mastery program, but I don't use it because it just, to me, I just didn't imagine customers would ever complete it. Peter, do you use Estate Exec? Is it something you give to your customers? Anybody? No? Okay. Okay. Well, awkward. I think what I'm going to do at this point is share the website that this comes from, which is the Estate Registry. And in services, you can go down to Legacy Now. And this is a digital life and estate planning management program. And if you're interested in it, here's the contact information, phone call, and email. And the idea of the product is something that, in addition to a customer getting it on their own, the idea being that you can offer it to them and pay for it as an access, and or give it to attorneys to use. And you can, like a estate exec, buy it in bulk. And but the estate exec to me was more managing an actual estate closing. This is more of a digital vault service where you're just putting the assets in to organize them. And that makes, when the time comes to execute, it's organized in one place. The estate exec, I think, was more about managing the estate and administering it when the time came to do that. Okay, well, I'm sorry about the technical issues we're having with Alyssa. We had a fast start and everything was working fine, but it dropped off. I guess this is part of the business. We'll get Alyssa back on and record and add on to this. I'll probably put the link in the show notes to follow-up phone call. So I think what we do today is, just for technical reasons, we do this live because it's more interesting, I think, live. But the risks are, when the technology doesn't work, we're kind of stuck. So I offered it and only one liked it. Yeah, I didn't even offer it. I got to the point where I just found it to be a lot of work, Peter. Peter's talking about he asked the question, how does it differ from a estate exec? And then he offered it, only one liked it. Yeah, and I'm sure it's not the program. He's only on YouTube today. Yeah, thanks. It's not necessarily the program, but I think sometimes, I think that for me, most people don't want to learn another software program they're only going to use once in their life. And so for me, this is a digital vault. It's a place to keep things, and I might need to keep them there to share with my wife. In my case, share them with my daughter and son-in-law, who would be our heirs if the time comes. I hope it's a long time from now. But they certainly can help us along the way. And my son-in-law, in my case, is a accountant and does tax planning. Oh, there you go.
Sorry about that. I'm using my phone because I think, for whatever reason, my computer was just not being cooperative. So,
well, it's okay. Glad to have you anyway. We can get you. So, okay. So I did my best to kind of let me get this off of here. Oops. No, I don't want to do that. Okay. So let's talk about I kind of give a little bit of overview because I do know the product to some degree. What does the product cost, and how do you see the product being used, or the service being used, to work with referral sources like attorneys, for example?
sure. So what we're working with attorneys and real estate agents, wealth advisors, people who interface with clients on a daily basis, on the professional service provider side of things, we have a special rate depending on how many clients they have and how many, vaults they want to work with us on. So we can discuss that. If it's a direct to consumer is a little higher. We start at $5.99 a month if it's a direct to consumer vault. But if it's through one of our professional service providers, we discount that rate. And then for your listeners today, it's a $4.99 direct to consumer rate that we're doing for anyone who's here tonight that would
So
like to give it a try.
$4.99 as the monthly fee.
As a monthly fee, it's
for
about
the storage.
$60, $59.88 a year.
And how much is the setup to get started?
That's it. That's all in. And what that does is it provides you that we at the estate registry and Legacy Now, we don't feel that legacy planning should only be for C-suite wealthy individuals. Everyone should be able to have a legacy plan in place, and everyone should be able to have that feeling of relaxation, knowing that they've done everything. One of the ways one of the reasons this was created is the founder of the software. He would go to his father's house. It's an Italian family, and they'd have a glass of wine. And after a glass of wine, his father would take him in the back and say, see all this, these are all the important files, and this is everything. So if anything ever happens to me, this is where you go. And I think a lot of people, it weighs on them, and they try and organize as much as possible. But in today's day and age, it's really difficult because you can't just wait for a bill to come in the mail to know what to cancel on behalf of somebody who you're helping. It's one of those issues now where everything is so online. Unless you know someone's username or password or can really get into things, it's very difficult.
On the flip side, if you have access, it's so much simpler. If somebody has a property and you don't think about it, but you might say, well, we don't have to sell it right away. Okay, but you got to pay the property taxes, you got to pay the mortgage. Where's that number? Where do you make the payments to? The insurance? If this information is already organized and able to be transferred or accessed by a third party, by your, whoever would be your administrator,
your executor, your children, your administrator, or what we say for people who don't have family, we have a vault custodian, and that could be a trusted friend or professional or an attorney, someone to help.
Right. And so organizing all that becomes less challenging because it's at your fingertips and you're not straining to get access. One of the key challenges in probate, somebody passes, is how much is the mortgage and what is the payoff? And so sometimes you'll see it's in default, but you can't get in touch with the lender to find an updated statement. Versus if you have online access, you can just log in and pull up the statement, get request a payoff quote, or whatever's required to bring the mortgage up to date. And so that can save you thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. And I think that's why your company is involved, because this is so connected to the Inherit Now, is so connected to the Legacy Now. It just makes sense that you're advancing people money. You don't want them to lose the property. Where's the insurance? Where's the taxes? And so it just starts to blend together. It makes a seamless experience for the customer. So you're saying that consumer direct is $5.99 a month, through professionals is $4.99 a month. So this
or less, depending on the professionals. Because if you have 100 clients and you're looking at or 1,000 clients, we'll discuss pricing and rating.
And there are attorneys who might charge for an estate plan $3,000-$4,000, and for them to package up 2, 3, 4 years of the digital vault, it's an add-on service they're offering to the customer that's very valuable, and at the same time, gives them the ability to offer this. There are certain estate planning packages that have that built in, and some attorneys don't like the estate planning part, but they like the vault. Here's a case where they can put together their estate plan separate and then put the vault on as part of that as well. Now,
absolutely. And they have a lot of autonomy with that. What the attorneys like to do is use it almost as like a meeting. So they'll send the vault out and have them populate aspects of it before a meeting. The other way I've seen them use it is on an annual basis. So they stay in front of their clients, because a lot of times attorneys do work and they do wills and trust, and then it goes on a shelf somewhere and everybody forgets it. They set it, forget it. Whereas these plans need to be looked at every year. What's changed? Has something been paid off? What do we need to update? So it's a way to stay in front. And again, that word relationship comes into play, right? You continue to maintain that relationship.
One of the challenging issues in California regularly is people pass and can't find a trust. Somebody created a trust, deeded the trust, property is transferred in the trust properly, and they pass, they can't find the trust documents.
Yep.
And sometimes there's ways to work around that. And I've worked with my title companies and have some special procedures, but there are times you're stuck. And what's interesting is people assume the attorney who created the trust or will keeps a copy. And the truth is there are two types. Some do, some don't. I find those that specialize in this field do, because it's added service to their customers. But the ones who do an occasional plan or will don't, purposely don't keep a copy. Hard to imagine, because they want to say, well, I have a copy. I don't know if it's the right copy or not. And they don't want to get dragged into litigation. I always thought, well, that's your customer, that's your job. Here's a way you solve the problem for them, where there's a digital vault. All the documents are in one place. And so when somebody passes, all you have to do is find it. And you have not just the right documents, but you have the other information to be effective.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Good. Now let's talk about, for professionals who want to work with you. I know that you work with Melanie in Florida. Talk about how you approach other professionals in the field of marketing, and how realtors in other markets might want to reach out to you to talk about how to market to their population. If they have a network in Ohio or Michigan or New York, I know you've done presentations and speeches to groups of attorneys and wealth management. How can a real estate agent work with you effectively?
Sure. Well, we do. I'm certified to do an hour of CE and CLE. So CPE and CLE for attorneys and for financial advisors. So I have a lot of groups that call me in to do lunch and learns with their networks on their behalf, as well as providing a lot of emails. You had mentioned your email marketing, and we have a lot of thought leadership pieces in this area. So what happens if I inherit a house and the house is out of state from where I live? What do I do next? So a lot of these thought leadership pieces that you can be using to drip in your communities, we're happy to provide those to you as well. And I know we've worked together on some of that. You've helped give us ideas to write more articles. So we really enjoy doing the thought leadership piece.
Well, the number one thing, I get asked all the time, how do I build, my probate business? And I say, rather than buy data from some company, and they call it leads, but really just data, and then cold call or cold mail, you should start with educating your database, your sphere, your tribe, your past clients, friends, contacts, family. And they'll say, well, what do I contact them about? And I would say, well, you're on this call today. Go to, what is the website? I'm sorry. Go to estate-registry.com and look up Legacy Now and learn something from this call, find a little content on their website and share that with your database. You don't have to know everything. You just have to know a little bit more than your customer. And so if you're able to repurpose, and they're glad to let you do this, repurpose the content. What do you do with your documents? Where do you store them so that when the time comes, they're accessible to your family? Well, one thing I learned today was Legacy Now offers this. You don't have to have every answer to the question, just enough. They might call you up, and then you would say, hey, let me get Alyssa on the call. She's the rep for the company. She's glad to talk to you. I know that you are, and put that phone call together. So as real estate agents, there's no excuse not to include this how to avoid probate or how to manage yourself through probate more efficiently product to your database as a way to get them to think about you as a probate expert. And so thank you for pointing that out, but really it's just as simple as that. Just add that into your mix of marketing.
Absolutely.
Now you work with a lot of real estate agents, across the country. You work with wealth management as well. Tell me these are challenging times for some people. Mm-hmm. What are the common themes you see from those who are successful in this market from those who aren't?
Well, they, like I was saying earlier, they take a consulting approach to it instead of a sales approach. So they put themselves out there in spheres and centers of influence. So they're attending the estate planning council meetings in their area. So they're networking with professionals who do estate planning day in and day out, whether those are estate planning attorneys, whether those are other realtors, whether those are funeral directors, even, or people in financial services, banks, trust officers. They're rubbing elbows with people who are dealing with estates and trust issues. And they become, because they're attending these meetings, they educate themselves on the topics. So they start to become part of that community and that network for referrals.
Yeah, it's really not all that complicated. There's no right answer. It's the right answer for you, right?
Mhm.
And I know our friend Melanie is a nurse. She enjoys working with nurses in the senior world. And so for her, the right answer are those events. Personally, I like real estate investors. I also like attorneys. So those are marketing opportunities that I try to pursue. So find the right group for you. There's no right answer. The right answer is find your lane, work at it consistently, bring value to those people. And then when they have a problem, they'll call you up and you become the solution.
And having that story, I think it's important to own your story. Melanie has a great story, like you were saying, because she's a nurse, so she comes from a
Yeah.
different aspect. I think we all have our story. I came from wealth management, so this whole estate planning and legacy planning is something I've grown up in. So I think knowing and understanding your background and using your background as part of your elevator pitch, if you will, and part of your autonomy and what sets you apart and differentiates you from everyone else.
Well, and if I was a real estate agent looking to network with wealth management people, I would be begging Alyssa to meet with me for coffee or lunch or on the phone or a Zoom call or something because she has a wealth of knowledge of that world. And like she said, her giving, education, these people licenses, we all need continuing education, and being able to do that puts her in a position of authority. And you want to sit right next to her so they look at you, her shadow's on you when she's at these events. And that's to some degree what Melly's done locally in Florida. And that's what I'm trying to do today by introducing her to you guys, that when you think of me as the expert in the field, and one way is by bringing a subject matter expert like Alyssa to the call. So that's what we do this for. So just real quick housekeeping. This is Probate Weekly. We do this every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You can continue the conversation at our Facebook group, Probate Weekly. We have about 3,700 members, and you can ask questions, look for referrals for agents or attorneys in other states. Also post your probate-related content there. I'd love to have you do that. If you want to get reminders and subscribe, you can go to probateweekly.com, put in your email address, and that way we'll send you reminders. You also can see it in audio format if you prefer that way, and or past episodes on YouTube. And if a reminder also, let me go back to my contact info is linktr.ee/Bill Gross, has everything that I'm doing. One of the things I'm doing is my email masterclass, and you can sign up there. It's $97, pretty expensive for an hour, plus 4 30-minute small group coaching sessions on how to increase your reach with your database 16 times. Guaranteed your money back. So it's a great opportunity for you. Reminder, our guest today is Alyssa Rakovich. She's with the State Registry. And they have a couple different services. One, we've had her before, a probate advanced product called Inherit Now. They do a great job on that, as well as we're talking today about Legacy Now, which is digital life and estate planning management platform. Great place for your customers to store their important documents, to make the handoff when the time comes to their administrator or an attorney, or pre-set up to their attorney easy, as well as a great tool for you to deepen relationships with attorneys, wealth managers, and appropriate parties who are involved in that space. So thank you for sharing all that with us today. So Alyssa, where's the economy head today, and how does this affect your business and your business activities? Meaning, I've seen in the news recently projections we're going to have recession. I've seen projections we're not. I've seen rates are going to go up. They're going to go down. What do you see, and how does that affect what you do on a day-to-day basis for your business?
Sure. Well, I always say when I used to do a lot of these seminars, investing is kind of like walking uphill with a yo-yo, right? You can't focus on the yo-yo. You just have to keep walking up the hill. And because if you focus on the yo-yo, it's the wrong way to look. And two back-to-back negative economic quarters is truly what a recession is. We've been in one. I think everybody feels it. I think everybody knows that we have inflation because when you go to the grocery store and you can buy $8 eggs, that's inflation. So I think all the families know what's going on as far as the economy. However, there's incredible opportunity of growth, and you see it in your industry. And I can find 1,000 companies out there that are growing, and the earnings and the revenue. So I think you have to be focused and not put your head in the sand and say, oh, inflation, oh, what's happening in the world with war. There's always going to be something that distracts us from where we could be going in a successful way. So I think technology and AI are incredible advancements. There's so much that's happening in the world, and there are spaces where there are niches, and there's a lot of money to be made in a lot of areas. And I know you see it in the real estate market too.
Yeah, definitely. I think that on one hand, I feel like everything's tighter. There's a little less room in deals. Agents are more desperate to get deals closed. They're desperate to get into escrow, and that gets in the way sometimes. I think that, I have to work 25% more productively than I have in the past. I have to work more hours, but I have to be more productive, talk to more people. But I think the key thing is customers are more concerned about the outcome. I think 2-3 years ago, anybody could sell a house. And so customers picked anybody. And today, customers are more concerned than ever about netting top dollar. And if you can show your expertise versus the competition, you're the one they're going to choose. And you want to be the partner that wealth managers or attorneys or accountants or whoever's referring you business, you want to be the person they say, no, I need him to do the deal because he's so good. I don't want somebody else to get involved. And that's the case here with these kinds of products, that we can be of service to our partners. Attorneys are looking for an extra estate planning case or two a year. And if you can help them by bringing a product idea like this to them, 1 or 2 more deals are going to solidify you in the relationship. And that's all we're really looking for, is 1 or 2 here, 1 or 2 there, 1 or 2 here. Next thing you know, you've got 10 more deals, and it's one at a time. So Alyssa, I really appreciate the chance to work with you on this. And if someone wanted to learn more about Legacy Now, of course, the other products as well, how should somebody go about contacting you or learning more about the product?
Absolutely. Well, please give me a call, 302-442-2791, and I can put it in the chat.
Okay. And we'll put that in the YouTube description as well as her LinkedIn profile, and then the link to the Legacy Now product. We'll put all that into our chat description as well. So
and I'll share my email as well. Great. And think of this. We're just on the cusp of $87 trillion that's transferring. It's the greatest wealth transfer we've ever seen happen. And think of how you're positioning yourself and your company to take advantage of that transition of wealth. It's an incredible opportunity.
Incredible. Well, I'm in it. I've been in it for a while, but I will say this. It's so interesting you say this. About a month ago, I was talking to my wife about business, and she said, you must be so lucky that you're in an end of the business that's recession proof, because people are going to die in increasing numbers as the older population comes, and there'll be more people who need probate. And I said, yeah, but at the same time, there's more real estate agents getting in the business, and there's other realtors coming across deals hanging on harder than they have before. And I said, that doesn't mean that I won't get more. It means I have to be better to deserve more. And I think that's what all of us need to do. I'm always pushing agents in my team. Don't look to be better at marketing. Look to be a better agent. And then more people want to do business with you. How do you become a better agent? How do you create more value? Well, one is offering a tool like this. And there's a million tools you can offer. This is another one. And I always say, find the one that sings to you. Find the program that really excites you. And then you can share that with prospective customers and build a business as well. So
Absolutely. And the niche market that you've created for yourself, I think when you're a master of everything, you tend to be a master of nothing.
right.
So to truly set yourself apart and go into that space as knowledgeable and as an expert, that's what people are looking for today. And I do a lot of talks on intergenerational communication differences. And the baby boomers were delegators. They would say, buy me a house, find me a property, do it for me. And this new generation, they're validators. They want to be validated. They want to do a little work themselves. They want you to tell them how great they are. And the work that they're doing is really good. So it's a different style of communication. And we have to sort of go with that flow and understand and not be afraid of technology. You know, technology is not going to replace a realtor. Technology is just going to advance and make that process easier and maybe expedite the time. So in integrating AI into your business to help leverage your time and
Yeah.
get you in front of more people. So not fearing it, but embracing it.
100%. I had the conversation with with a wealth manager yesterday and an agent on my team this morning, and they want to say, "Well, I'm just not good with technology." So, well, don't say that. Like that's just stupid to say. You know, just get better. Wherever you are is wherever you are.
Yep.
But why would you not use something that amplifies your voice 10 times or 100 times? You know, I do interviews, and I per hour will have 10 times the people I can talk to that might individually talk to them. It's not anything more magical. It's just by using video and putting on YouTube. If I'm thoughtful about it, instead of a 10-minute conversation, I can have 100 minutes of view time, and that starts to leverage my time. And as agents, and I get older, I don't work as many hours as I used to. I don't need to because I'm more productive thanks to technology. And so here we're using, and I think that's the other thing about this product that I like so much, and I really need to be more diligent in offering it, is that it also shows me to be technology forward, right? To an attorney who's been around a while, they might still have the customer on their own, organize everything. But if they can be technologically a little more forward and helping them be more productive, just even offering it to them shows me to be technologically forward in trying to assist them and move their business forward. So it's a great opportunity. Again, for those of you who find this interesting, explore it, go on the website, give Alyssa a call, set up a time, go to one of her presentations, and use this to help you build your business. So there you go. Alyssa, thank you so much for your time. As always, I appreciate learning with you, appreciate your support in your business. And for those of you on the call, I would urge you that if you're looking for some help in this area or to implement this product, she's a great partner to work with. She's working with our team and doing a great job. So thanks, Alyssa. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Bill. Really enjoyed it. Take care.
And for the rest of you on the call today, again, this is Probate Weekly. We do this every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can sign up at probateweekly.com. You'll get email reminders, or if you want to subscribe to the audio version and or see the past episodes on YouTube, love to have you do that as well. I'm at Bill Gross Probate, social media. You can call, text, or email me, or reply to this email if you get it. As always, make today your best day ever. Thanks so much, everybody.